Ahoj krásné studentky a krásní studenti. We are nearly at the end of this huge topic of the verb aspect. And today we will talk mainly about the three configurations that can adopt a given Czech verb appearing in a pair of imperfective and perfective form. Remember, one verb, two forms, two meanings, but lost in translation into only one. Right now I am on my journey from Czech Republic to Poland, because as you probably remember from the previous lessons, I have lost my glasses for distant vision. So I cannot drive and have to rely on an old pair of sunglasses. It looks like marshes over there. My route leads from the Dobrošov Hill in Czech Republic to Kudova Zdroj in Poland, to the nearest optician in the surroundings. On my way back, I will make a little stop to tell you about the three situations or configurations. But in the meantime, let's resume what we already know so far about the verbal aspect in Czech. Every Czech verb, with marginal exceptions of bi-aspectual verbs, is either imperfective or perfective. How does it work? Mostly there are two Czech verbs with identical lexical meaning, and one of them is called nedokonavé sloveso, imperfective verb, and the other dokonavé sloveso, perfective verb. Imperfective verbs, you can see them as a river, capture a situation as a process or activity unfolding in time. We see the unfolding as if watching a film of it.
Można.
They focus on the duration of a situation and can also be used to denote habitual or repeated situations. In a narrative, imperfective verbs tend to be in the background. They present descriptions that support the telling of the story, but they do not form the backbone of the story's main events. I've made a discovery. If you talk in Czech to a Polish person, they will understand. And they will reply to you in Polish and you will understand. So this is very practical for you. A perfective verb, on the other hand, communicates an external view of a situation. In a narrative, perfective verbs serve as the skeleton of the plot, and they drive forward the story event by event. An example would be the classic sentence about Julius Caesar. He came, he saw, he conquered. Or in Czech, přišel, uviděl, zvítězil. Perfective verbs can be seen as a cloud, little sharp cloud, and they cannot describe an immediate present tense, so their use is limited to the past, something that has already occurred, and the future, something which will have occurred. And as a reaction to your question about verbal aspect and tense, the aspect in Slavic is a superior category in relation to tense or even to mood. Particularly some verbal forms like infinitive cannot distinguish tense, but they still distinguish aspect. Okay, I'm now on my way back home, but I need to keep the adventure going, so I'm taking a different route. Soon I will make a little stop and tell you about the 3 configurations adopted by the complete aspect pairs. There will be 3 of them. First one is that the 2 verbs may differ in root vowel or consonant. Kupovat, koupit, to buy. Nahrazovat, nahradit, to replace. Překládat, přeložit, to translate or to fold. Sheet of paper. Second type of situation, it's more rare. The 2 verbs are suppletive, which means that there is no morphonological similarity between the roots. The roots are different. For example, brát, vzít. Brát, vzít, to take. Example, berete nějaké léky? Berete nějaké léky? And very different from this would be, vzal jste si dnes nějaké léky? Vzal jste si nějaké léky? It's a major difference. Brát léky, usually taking medicines or medicaments, and vzít si léky, take the medicine. Today. And the third type of situation is the prefixation of perfective verbs. Dělat, udělat. The prefix will turn an imperfective verb, dělat, into a perfective one, udělat. Číst, přečíst. Číst, přečíst. To read. Platit, zaplatit. To pay. And a little observation about the prefixation. It is not because we put before an imperfective verb a prefix that it will automatically become a perfective one. The prefixation is a procedure used also to form new verbs or different verbs. It's more of a tool of creation than a perfectivization, if this is clear. So prefixes are used for the formation of both imperfective and perfective verbs. A few examples. Přecházet, přejít, to cross. Přišívat, přišít, to sew on. Vhazovat, vhodit, to throw in. Vyvěšovat, vyvěsit, to hang out. Not to hang out with someone, only hang out a flag or something like this. And please note, we mentioned it previously, that the modal verbs in Czech are imperfective always. Smět, chtít, moct, muset, umět, mít. Dear students, I hope this was useful, and don't worry too much about how will you pick up the right verb. The most important thing, if you are very new to this topic, is to know about this topic, be aware of it, and try to capture it, try to listen to Czech speakers and try to observe how they are using these verbs. With time, it will come naturally to you. Remember what we said in the second lesson, and it was the fact that Czech speaker, native Czech speaker, uses these verbs or makes the choice between the imperfective and perfective intuitively. So that's why if you see an action as a one-time action, you will use the perfective verb, and this is okay. And if you believe, even if it is not maybe true, but your perception is that it's a lengthy process which is flowing like a river with no visible beginning and no visible end, then you can use visible. Then you can use the imperfective one. It's quite simple. I will now resume my journey. I believe I'm close to the border, and I approximately know where I am. It's just that it's a different route, so it doesn't matter. I know where the north is, so it's okay. Okay, so I will get going now, and suddenly it's warm again. It was raining. I have lost a lot of time, and I need to get back home. Ahoj, brzy nashledanou. And you know what? I didn't really like any of these pairs of glasses. But in the last lesson about the verb aspect, we will have together a look on the most used pairs, and I hope that you will like them. Začíná pršet. Imperfective. Even if the expression of most used is a little bit pretentious and ambiguous, because each of us has a very personal array of verbs, so what we really should do is to see them all.